Are you looking for more out of your life? Do you need ideas on how to start new businesses and how to move forward in your own personal life? Well, guess what? You have come to the right radio show. At You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, you will learn and hear from many people from all walks of life who are sharing their challenges, their stories, the habits, and the mind shifts they had to overcome to become who they are today. On top, you will get a chance to connect and see how you can overcome anything by networking and learning about your next move through this radio show. I present to you our great speakers at You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino. Hello there and welcome back. It is your friend Cesar Espino. You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, and you can find me at www.cesarrespino.com. And today I have a special guest. His name is Eston swaby. Hey Eston, how are you?
Okay, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. And before we get started, I want to just give our listeners a quick background of you, and then we can dive into to know more about you. Okay. So
Okay, that sounds good.
awesome. So Eston, he works with entrepreneurs to release their fears, self-doubts, so they can share their message and they can grow their business by making high-ticket items and then being able to really create that financial stability that they want and they love. So you focus on working with entrepreneurs, right? In terms of their mindset and different things this is what I see here that you do with your clients, right?
Yes, I believe that your business will never outgrow you. And so if you do not have the right mindset, then you'll never be successful. And so mindset is very important to your business success. The success just overall.
Got you.
So that's what I.
Yeah. So let me ask you something before I get to that. Why don't you give me a little bit more of your background? Where are you from? And let's dive into to your back to your childhood, just to kind of give us an idea.
Okay. Thanks for asking. I grew up. Well, I'm living in Jamaica. I grew up in a very small community, small community in Westmoreland. Surrounded mostly with family members. 90% of the people in the community are my family members, related some way, the cousins or auntie or something. So I grew up really, on the matter of mindset, I grew up not really believing in myself, not thinking that I was worth anything. So I had a lot of self-esteem issues. I remember there were times I wanted to just escape this world. Just wanted. I even thought about committing suicide because I just never felt as if I was good enough. I never felt as if I was worthy. There was time I just did not want to live to see another day. So I had a lot of rejection issues growing up and so forth, and that really affected my life, well, for most of my life. In terms of family background, I'm the second child from my parents have three brothers and one sister, and we grew up very close together.
Yeah, definitely. And so growing up, I mean, obviously, I know that it's not easy growing up in countries like Jamaica or places like that. I'm from Mexico, and I grew up in Mexico in my first couple of years of my life. I was in Mexico, and I was born into a family that really didn't have anything, right? So I know that's very difficult. So where did you get your drive? Like now, talking about right now where you're now helping people and really working on that mindset. Like, where did you get the drive to actually do this? Where did that come from?
It came from growing up not having much. There are times that I remember going to school I was given like 100 Jamaican dollars, and that's like less than $1
Mm.
to go to school, and I had to pay like $80 out of that for taxi fare for transportation. I was just left with like 20 Jamaican dollars, and that could just buy like a small biscuit. Many times I went to school, I didn't eat any breakfast, and $20 I couldn't really buy anything. So I didn't really have any lunch. And growing up, I made a decision that this was not going to be my destiny. That I'm going to break away from this not having enough, not being enough. Um, on decided I was going to break away from this victim mindset, and I was going to help other persons to to live their dreams, other persons to rise above their challenges, to not allow their circumstances to define who they are and what they can really achieve. Because growing up, I had that drive, and I decided I was going to just go out there and create the success that I wanted. So it really came from my growing up in a very limited environment, growing up in an environment where most of the people in that environment, most of the people in my community, they were farmers. They were not really thinking about, okay, starting a business or really going to college and really making a success, creating success for themselves. I'm the first person in my family to actually graduated from university with a degree, and so I said that I wanted my family I I wanted to break the chain in my family where no one in my family was going to university. I said I wanted to be the first. I wanted my brothers to basically have a better future, and even when I have kids, for them to have a better future. So that's where really it came from. Growing up, seeing different things, not having enough, and so forth.
Oh yeah, and I really love that. I love the fact that that you say that you cannot and should not accept the circumstances, because I think that's a lot of times that's where perhaps many people tend to go back to, and they feel that because of a particular circumstance, or how the society is driving something, or we tend to look at different aspects in in our current day lives, and then we tend to accept that, and become a victim of our own destiny, right? And so I like how you talked about being able to take that control back, because it comes down to that you're now taking that control back, and you're now the one driving your destiny, and by even you saying, hey, I want to be the first one in my family. I need to break this this chain that has been on for whatever period of time. That's really what makes that big difference. And even if that doesn't give you exactly 100% the result that you want, yet you start making that mind change or that shift, it's definitely going to put you in a different position, which is kind of what you've done in your life, right? So, how long have you been coaching now? Is this something recently you did, or how long have you been doing that?
Okay, let me go back a little bit. And before I even answer that, let me just say something that about what you just said. That is so true. We have to really take responsibility. I take 100% responsibility for our lives and for our success, and stop blaming circumstances, stop blaming the government, stop blaming our family. Say, okay, my dad wasn't in my life. This is why I behave this way. My parents going to send me to college or university. So this is why I don't have this. I funded my university tuition for 3 years, and then after that I went on to get other certificates. And I did that while working a 9 to 5, a full working full. I was studying full time and have a job full time. And I did that because I took responsibility. No, you're Christian. From I was growing up, from I was in the 7th grade, I've always had a passion for really for coaching. well, at that time I didn't know anything about coaching, so it was basically counseling. So growing up, I said I wanted to become a clinical psychologist. I want to help persons to, basically say, to become the better version of themselves. I wanted to broken families and help teenagers that are wounded by the circumstances, are wounded by society, to heal and to become the version of themselves. So that was the plan. But as you know, sometimes we make a plan, but then sometimes God takes us on a different path. I remember after I got my degree and I started looking into counseling, I discovered coaching, and I saw it was something similar to counseling, and so I started going down that road of coaching. And before I really decided to become to do this professionally, I I was doing that. So I've always been counseling. I've always been coaching, but professionally, it is working with
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. Um, about 2 years.
Right. Yeah, and one thing that I also realize is that you said it right, and you said it the best. We make and create some certain plans, and sometimes those plans get reshifted by a greater power. And I also believe that. I mean, I myself have a degree in business administration. I actually started with a business in information technology. Then I went into business administration, and now I'm into other aspects of real estate and things like that. So, Eston, can you tell me, for you, how can you define success?
A lot of people, they define success as the amount of money you have in the bank or the amount of cars that you have or the house that you live in. But I define success as you fulfilling the purpose that you are created for. Because if you have all the money in the world and you can afford just about anything that you want to buy, and then you are not happy or you are not fulfilled, then that's failure. So I believe that all of us were created for a purpose, and without fulfilling that, if we're not fulfilling that purpose, then we have failed.
Got it.
So for me, success is me fulfilling the purpose that I was created for. Me using the gifts that God gave me, because I believe that if I work my gifts, then the success that I want, or the financial success that I want, that will be a byproduct of it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy that, actually, and that makes perfect sense. And you're right. A lot of people tend to define success based on the number of dollars or the number of digits they have in their bank account. And we have seen it time after time when people that have a lot of money, yet they're not happy, they're not fulfilled, and sometimes they turn into drugs, or even worst case scenario, they commit suicide, right? And so I believe
Exactly.
that at the end of the day is you got to be able to find that happiness, or you got to be able to find success. What makes you happy or what fulfills your life is what is success, not necessarily a monetary aspect of that, but is, I think, way bigger than that aspect, right? So yeah, that's something that I definitely can see being a driving factor. Now, let me ask you this: you being in Jamaica, right? Obviously, you see a lot of poverty and a lot of different aspects, and so even when I was in Mexico, there was so much poverty, right? And sometimes it seems like we as people, that's our society. We have to accept that for what it is, and we don't tend to see beyond what we're living. What is one thing that you can say that you tell your clients to say, you could create a more sustainable life. You can create the dreams that you want. You can create the things that you want by doing X, Y, and Z. Like, how do you approach that? Because I'm sure that's not an easy thing to do, specifically when you're in a place where there's a lot of poverty, right? So how do you deal with that?
One of the first things that I tell them, and that's a great question. one of the things that I tell them that your environment doesn't define you. Where you come from, who your parents are, is that none of that defines you. You are the creator of your own destiny. You have the pen in your hand. You can decide what is it that I want to create. So what I tell them, look at your environment. Look at the things that you don't want. Because when you can look at the things when you know what you don't want, then that will give you an understand. That will help you to really get clear on what is it that you want. Because the problem is that a lot of us, we don't really know what we want. And we don't really know what is possible. And so we settle for a life that we don't really want. So what is it that you don't want? Okay, you don't want to continue to live the same life that you are living now. Okay, good. So what are some of the steps that you think you can start taking? Even if you don't think it is possible right now, but let us start dreaming. If everything was possible, if you could live the life that you want, what would that look like? What are some of the steps that you could take? Now, who are some of the people that are living the life that you want to live? Look at their stories. Because I remember one of the things that I did growing up, I never thought that I could really create the life that I want. But then when I started to look at other people and I see the success that they are having and where they are coming from. Because a lot of people that are successful now, they were once homeless. So if someone else can walk off the street and walk into a 6-figure, a 7-figure business right now, can walk into their dream house, then you can do it also. I was watching a video not so about 30 minutes ago and with Tyler Perry, and he was showing his new studio that he built. Now Tyler Perry did not come from, I don't know if you know Tyler Perry, but if you know Madia, then seriously, yeah. So he did not grow up in a rich environment. He was abused. So he was able to create the life that he is living now. It is not like he had people around him that could say, hey, Tyler Perry, this is possible. Or Tyler Perry, look at what I'm doing. Look at what I have created. You can create it also. So he had to look outside of his environment. So do not limit your thinking to within your environment, your social environment, because there is so much more beyond that. So that's what I would tell them.
No, I like that. And part of that, too, is it comes down to instead of focusing on the things you don't want, focus on the things that you do want regardless of the environment, right? And it's so easy for us to focus on the things that I don't want. Well, I don't want to be poor anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And whatever, right? We focus so much on that I don't want because of our current environment. Rather than that, instead of saying, I don't want to be poor anymore, change that frame of that and focus on what you want. I want to be financially stable and have whatever amount of money on my bank account on a daily basis or whatever the case may be, right? And you change that. And I think that also creates that powerful connection with what you just mentioned. And that is, do not accept your current environment as for what it is. You can create your environment and make that a big difference, right?
That's exactly, whatever success you want, you can create it. You just have to and sometimes you won't actually believe, because believe in yourself, that doesn't, if you don't believe in yourself, that doesn't mean that you can create the success that you can take the first step. Because when I took the first step towards creating the life that I want, or to start creating the life that I want, I never believed in myself. I just knew what I wanted. And then I started taking that first step. And then as I took the first step and I took another step, then I started to believe. Then I started to have confidence in myself. And then one of the things that I did was I started to surround myself with people that could motivate, people that could inspire me. And then, and then they started to speak life into my spirit. And so surround yourself with people that can speak truth into your spirit, can speak life.
Yeah, I love that. Definitely, you are the product of the 5 people you hang around with, for sure. In terms of, for you, I have. I think it's important for people to have a why, a purpose, a mission. I call it my highest intention. What is your mission or your highest intention for the things that you're doing, for your drive?
To help them to see possibilities, to see that there's no limit to what they can actually create. So that is one of the things that I'm trying to do, to help them to see possibilities where they once saw none. To see that there is a warrior within them, and when they release that inner warrior, they become unstoppable. To help them to know that the self that they are portraying now is not there is a better version. There's more they can create for themselves.
Got it. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's definitely something that I believe we all have, and that is, being able to create something, and it's beyond. Maybe give me your thoughts on this. I think it's beyond just ourselves, right? I think is definitely, living life and going through life. There's a point in time, at least for me, that I realized that it's not just about me. It's about creating and helping many more around me. Is that the same thing that you see for yourself? And if so, how critical is that for your journey?
Could you repeat that for me, please?
Yeah, definitely. So, one thing that I see, at least for me, is that I realize that through my own journey, it's not so much about me anymore. It's about me and other people, and how I can help other people come up to their full potential, right? And so I want to know if that's the same thing for you, and if so, how critical is that to your journey?
Yes, I that is same for me. I don't believe that you work. I believe that you're created to help other persons, to make other person's life better. Your gifts are not necessarily for you. Your gifts are for someone else. So I believe that God gave you the gifts that you have so that you can serve humanity. So when I focus on serving you, and you are focused on serving me, then we both get what we want. The only way that we as a society is going to rise to our full potential is if all of us, we focus on not serving ourselves, but focus on serving the next person, serving each other.
Got it. Okay, no, that's definitely. I again, that's a really good point, and I really enjoyed that. So, yeah, thanks for definitely sharing that.
You're welcome.
So, what are some things that you do to have you or keep in a positive state of mind?
In the first place, if you are not really achieving that success, then you are going to the mind is going to really tell us, okay, come on, this is a lie. So what I do instead is that I ask the question, why am I so successful? Why am I so wealthy? And what happens when you ask that question is that the mind will come up with different reasons why you're so successful. So you tell yourself, okay, it's because I went on that interview yesterday, or it's because I had that client yesterday, I signed that new client yesterday, because I went out with my mother yesterday to dinner. And so I ask that question, and then I think about one thing that I'm grateful for, and then I visualize that, and I feel the feeling. So if a feeling of excitement, I feel that feeling, and I do that for 60 seconds. I hold that image in my mind for 60 seconds. Wow. And then after 6, I ask the question again. I do that for 5. I do that 5 times.
Yeah.
So every morning, that's exercise that I do.
Wow,
Why am I
I love
so
that.
successful?
Hmm.
Why am I so successful? Why am I so wealthy? And then I visualize something that I'm really grateful for. It could be as simple as doing a podcast interview. It could be as simple as um, eating ice cream or attending an event, whatever it is. But just think about something that you're really grateful for and then just visualize it.
Yeah.
Before there was an exercise that I used to do, but I don't do it anymore, and it's a mirror exercise. It's that I think about eight things. I said, or eight things that what I'm forgiving myself for, eight things I'm forgiving myself for, eight commitments I'm making to myself, and what's the next one? Um, I don't remember, but your listeners can actually do this if they have some issues that they're working through,
Hmm.
the mindset issues. Um, eight things that you are great, eight things that you're forgiving yourself for. So, for example, Eston, I'm forgiving you for not making your bed this morning. Eston, I've forgiven you for disrespecting your mother yesterday. Eston, I forgive you for not following up with what you said that you are going to do. Eight commitments that you are making to yourself, and then I don't remember the next one.
Hmm.
I think it's eight things that you are grateful for, or
Right.
eight things you love about yourself. One of them. But those two things I can do.
No, and I really like that because again, it goes back to one thing is sometimes we tend to forget and we're always looking for somebody else to bring in that uh, edification. We're asking for somebody else to edify us, somebody else to give us compliments, somebody else to say, hey, you're forgiven. When in reality, we go back to the same thing is that, you know, if you start doing that yourself and to yourself, you know, you don't need anybody else's validation or edification. The one that you do is you, right? The most important person, I believe, is that person that you see every morning when you wake up in the mirror. Even if you're married, and I heard this from somebody and it made perfect sense, is that even if you're married, uh, when you go to sleep, doesn't matter who's in your bed, you're sleeping by yourself, because at the end of the day, that person falls asleep, you fall asleep, you're sleeping by yourself within your mind. The only thing that's in your mind is whatever thoughts and ideas or dreams are going through your mind. So you're sleeping by yourself. At the end of the day, you're here by yourself. So why not take care of yourself? Why not edify yourself? Why not give yourself compliments and stop waiting for somebody else to do that? Because sometimes we want people to do it, and it feels good, and it's good to hear that for sure. Except we shouldn't be relying on people to give us those compliments, or for them to edify us. That shouldn't be an expectancy. The expectancy is that you want to show up every day a better version of yourself by doing different things, creating different habits, uh, and really the other thing that I also say is always making sure that you're working harder on yourself than you do on anybody else, and not allowing the past to define your future, right? So yeah, I love what you're doing, Eston. And so I have a couple of more questions for you. Number one is, if people wanted to work with you, how can they find you so they can work with you?
Okay, you can find me on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. So send me a message at I can find me Eston Swaby on Facebook. Just look for Eston Swaby and you'll find me there. You can send me a message, a quick message. So I'm always on Facebook. And you can also send me an email at coacheston@gmail.com. I check my email every day. You can also visit my website at estoniswave.com. But the quickest way to really get in touch with me is on Facebook, Eston Swaby. And I have a free 45 minutes to anyone that is interested in working with me.
Mm.
So 45 minutes just to really talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about, or whatever problem that you're having in your business. Yeah.
Okay. And do you work with do you do a group setting, or is it one-on-one mentoring programs or coaching programs?
Okay, so I work with my clients on a one-on-one basis, not
Okay.
as in a group, because I want to give them that personalized attention. Um, just working with them one-on-one, just to help them with their issues. Yeah. So
Right.
it's on one-on-one, not group.
Yeah, got you. And then I also noticed you have a book, right? On Amazon, an ebook. Uh, that can you just really quickly elaborate about your book, The Empowerment Life, a
Okay,
daily dose of inspirational messages for self development?
yes. Okay, so my book on Empowered Life, I wrote that book based on my life experiences, living a defeated life for most of my life, not believing in myself, have a lot of self-doubts and fears, a lot of issues, rejections, and obstacles that I went through. And so I wrote that book to really help persons that are really going through some of the same things that I went through. So for example, a lot of times we as for example in one of the I said in the book that sometimes in our lives we it seems as if we are going off track, but it's really God positioning us for purpose. Because a lot of people they are looking at their lives and they're saying, why am I not successful as yet? Why is this why this haven't happened as yet? So I tell them that okay, sometimes it's just God repositioning us for purpose. I talk about obstacles, why we go through some of the things that we go through, how to deal with fears, how to deal with critics, and a lot of different things.
Hmm.
So if anyone is interested, they can really get it on Amazon. Yeah, or they can contact me personally, and I will help them to get a copy.
Okay, awesome. So, Eston, you're giving us a lot of great tips. I just wanted to ask you one last question, and that is, if you can tell the listeners what is one thing that they can do today that it can help them start overcoming obstacles in their life, what would that be?
Okay, start looking at those at those obstacles as something to are things to take you to the next level. Everything that you go through in life, everything that life throws at you, it's just to make you better. So start looking at them as stepping stones. So if something doesn't work out, ask yourself, okay, what are those lessons that I can learn from it? And what did I do wrong? What are some of the mistakes that I made? How did I contribute to this? And then what are the lessons that I really can learn from this? And what are the steps that I can take? What do I need to do different the next time? Because everything in life just to teach us a lesson. There's really no mistakes or anything about it. There's really no failures. They're just lessons. So everything, just see them as lessons, see them as stepping stones, and just take massive actions. A lot of people they are waiting and they're saying, okay, I will do this when. What they start thinking, okay, what can I start doing now? What can I really start doing now to position me for a purpose? What can I do now so that when opportunities come, I'm ready for opportunity? Because sometimes we are waiting for the opportunity to come, but we are not ready for the opportunity.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, that's good. And with that, I'll just make another point that I heard, which is pretty important. You mentioned it too. Les Brown talks about it's better to be prepared for an opportunity than and not have it than have an opportunity and not be prepared, right? And kind of go back to what you just mentioned, a lot of times we're waiting for the opportunity, then we want to get prepared, yet you don't know how to go about it and attack for it. So why don't you just get prepared now? And when the opportunity comes, you're already ready to take it and really attack that opportunity. So definitely, Eston, I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you so much for sharing a lot of information and giving our listeners definitely some great tips. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show. It was really fun and um, great being here. And I wish you all success in your podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And for the rest of you guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, share this audio recording, and make sure that you comment on this interview. Please make sure to check us out on Spreaker.com, Apple Podcast, and some other platforms. And you can also check out the interviews that are coming up. Till next time, have a wonderful day, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Hi, I'm Cesar Espino, real estate investor, business coach, and consultant, and author of the book, You Can Overcome Anything, Even When the World Says No. My number is 424-501-6046. In my book, I talk about making the necessary changes to shift your mind for prosperity and certainty. Pick up your copy at Amazon. I also love helping families with their real estate and can purchase your house fast and all cash. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My number is 424-501-6046.
Thank you for having me today. I am so glad you tuned in to this podcast. You can find me at Spreaker.com, where you can like and subscribe. And to learn more about myself and my services, you can find me at www.cesarrespino.com, or you can also find me at Facebook under Cesar R. Espino. Once again, thanks for joining me. I am looking forward to having you at the next episode, and know that you truly can overcome anything.